The plaintiffs called Joseph Foreman as if on cross-examination.
The plaintiffs are calling Afroman as a hostile witness. It's March 25th, and we are marching into another day with Afroman. Yesterday, I said, Emily, it's going to be great. We're going to just do a trial in a day. Incorrect. I was ill prepared. I was not prepared for this judge. I was not prepared for the manner of testimony, the delivery of testimony. The judicial demeanor is something I've never seen. And the lawyers are so calm. And I'm like, are they used to this? Did they expect this with this judge? Absolutely wild. And so when we get into the rest of this trial, which is going to be half of day 2 and then part of day 3, we're going to be looking at a few key witnesses, not all the witnesses, including Afroman's testimony.
I pay taxes, I work daily, I get paid by Beetle Bailey, Randy Walters, Private Pound, I used to fuck his wife, Johnny Stabby.
Oh.
Did you become aware of these posts, Mr. Walters, at or about the time they were posted?
Yes.
How did you become aware of them?
Of my personal post, I found out from my children. When my daughter came home and advised me that she was getting messed with at school because apparently her mom is having sex with Afroman, and since she's biracial, that must be her daddy, along with being a thief.
Okay. And how did that affect you?
It's horrible. It's hard when your job that you're doing affects your family, which affects you. When you have a kid come home crying that's already been through a life, and now they're getting hazed and harassed because somebody thinks it's funny. Somebody knows it's not true. Been with my wife for 28 years. She didn't have an affair with Mr. Foreman. She didn't make my daughter with Mr. Foreman. But now my family has to be harmed because of straight up 100% lies. Where in the world is it okay to make something up for fun that's damaging to others when you know for sure it's an absolute lie? It created a situation that was uncalled for, that was unsafe and unhealthy for the officers involved. The problem I have is the respect for my family wasn't near the respect.
This has gone to beyond a narrative.
Overruled.
If Mr. Foreman could ask a question.
Thank you. It's responsive. Overruled.
Go ahead.
The respect for my family, including my law enforcement family, wasn't nothing like the respect I gave to his children the night of the raid. I stopped what I was doing when his wife, who I know and have been friendly with for years as far as being associates, said, hey, somebody pulled, they were next door, somebody pulled in and they're scared. I stopped what I did, what I was doing, and went and checked on his kids to make sure they were safe, because that's a priority to me. But the same respect that was given to his family had no regard to mine or me. And that affects me, because to see my family in distress because of my job is distressful to me.
So you extended Mr. Foreman a significant amount of respect that night.
I felt that I did.
Well, it sounds like he disagrees.
Some of the surveillance footage, can you explain how that was showing respect?
Sure.
So, putting this image in perspective, you're behind the riot shield.
Yes.
Behind two other officers.
Officer Sean Cooley's behind you. Brian Newland's in front of you. And Sean Grooms is going forward with the assault rifle.
Mm-hmm.
And you're flipping off the security camera.
No.
That's not your middle finger.
No. Do you know how to use a ballistic shield, or do you like me to tell you?
Let's watch it.
Ew. Ew to the response and the snarkiness.
Finger went down, right?
There's a light activation on that shield. It's 35
The
pounds.
finger went down, correct?
if you think
They're talking about his finger popping up over the screen right there.
And you're flipping off the security camera.
No.
That's not your middle finger.
No, do you know how to use a ballistic shield, or do you like me to tell you?
Let's watch it.
Hands went down.
Right?
There's a light activation on that shield. It's 35
The
pounds.
finger went down, correct?
Where's the light? What do you mean by light activation?
If you think I was flipping him off, you can think that that's not what it was.
Okay. So, are you testifying and claiming that because Mr. Foreman called you Gomer Pyle, you've been painted in a false light with the public? I'm not taking it one at a time, so I'm going to...
For each plaintiff, there is a defamation cause of action and a false light cause of action. And because the direct examination was so vague, it makes sense that the defense is trying to isolate what exactly are you suing for?
The Gomer Pyle?
Yes.
I'm not claiming that, sir.
You're not claiming that being called a son of a bitch is a claim you're pursuing, that Mr. Foreman's called you?
Correct, sir.
Okay. Being called Beetle Bailey, you're not claiming that is part of defamation proceeding on that, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And neither one of those three statements have painted you in a false light, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Well, I mean, it depends. I mean, it paints you in a different light than what you are, but correct.
Is that what you're suing for, though?
So you're solely being painted in a false light due to Mr. Walters saying he had sex with your wife?
Mr. Walters does have sex with his wife. Mr. Foreman doesn't.
Okay, now that's kind of funny.
Mr. Walters does have sex with his wife. Mr. Foreman doesn't.
Good catch on that.
Yeah.
So you're claiming that is the defamation statement, is that he said he had sex with your wife?
Yes.
Okay. And that's painted you in a false light?
It's caused tremendous pain in my life.
I'll get to that. We have to go through false light first. So does it paint you in a false light?
Yes, that my wife is cheating on me with Mr. Foreman.
But we all know that's not true, correct?
I don't know.
Wow.
Wait, you don't know if your wife's cheating on you or not?
You want to go there?
No, I just want to ask that question because you said we don't know. I just
Been
need
with
the
that
answer.
woman since middle school.
I know.
I would hope she wouldn't. But you know what? Once somebody puts it out there for their fun and entertainment, it's out there. And it's a problem.
So it's something we cannot verify the truth of?
Wow. Oh, he's so mad.
Is it a thing that can be verified, true or false?
Ask your client.
Your Honor, I'm going to ask for a direct the witness to answer the question, yes or no, please.
That you don't like his answer doesn't mean he didn't answer.
He didn't answer the question. He's told me to ask another person. That is
He
not
did
an
not
to the
answer.
question.
So ask him another question.
Oh, God.
That was his answer.
I agree with
You
the
didn't like
defense.
how it came out, but it was his answer.
It wasn't an
You can't
answer.
make him say something else. You can ask him another.
Your Honor, that was a sidestep, not an answer.
So ask him another question.
Okay.
That was his answer.
Oh,
You didn't like how it came out, but it was his answer. They can't make him say something else. You can ask him another question.
Your Honor, you can, in fact, instruct him to answer the question instead of sidestepping it. You can do that.
And so are you claiming that Mr. Foreman saying he had sex with your wife is a private fact about your life?
Not anymore.
My family is a private part of my life.
About your wife?
This is going to false
Him having
light.
an affair with my wife would definitely be a private part of my life if that was occurring.
This goes to the false light claim.
And that has affected your reputation?
Yes.
Okay.
How?
Is it fair to say you were angry and upset about this search?
I wasn't happy.
Yeah, fair. He's allowed to be frustrated. That's fair.
And is that why you posted the things we've seen this week, because you weren't happy?
No, I posted it because the sheriff's never supposed to raid my house in the first place. The whole raid was a mistake. All of this is their fault. If they hadn't have wrongly raided my house, there would be no lawsuit. I would not know their names. They wouldn't be on my body. They wouldn't be on my home surveillance system. And there would be no songs, nothing. My money would still be intact, nothing. So all of this
Right.
is their fault.
My money would still be intact.
And because they executed a search warrant on your home, that gave you the right to post the things that we've seen this week on the internet?
Because
Is that
they-
right? Is that right, Mr. Foreman?
Yes, for
Yes.
tearing down my door, not paying for it, not being apologetic, me being a sport, doing something peaceful to raise the money to pay for their damages, me having the right of the freedom of speech as an American to talk to my family, friends, and fans about what the sheriffs did to my home. Yes, I had the right to my freedom of speech. After they left, I had the right to kick the can and to do what I had to do to repair the damage they brought to my house.
You posted videos about Brian Newland doing hard drugs and snitching on his friend,
Is he the one who talked about smoking weed?
and you posted those based on rumors, didn't you? We can look at your deposition, but before you argue with me, but isn't that a fact?
You asked a
That
question.
you made those allegations based on rumors you said you heard?
It's a fact. William Newland is a convicted and Brian Newland is his brother. After I zeroed in on Brian, I asked about him. Come to find out, he's a large statutory that has sex with all kind of underage girls. He buys them beers and gets them drunk and all kind. That's probably the reason he had to leave the Adams County Sheriff Department, because he beats up his wife
Holy
and he messed
shit.
with underage girls, and he had to get out of town and go get a job in Norwood.
All right. You don't want to answer my question.
I do. Please ask another one.
Well, let
Oh,
me ask
shit.
this one again so I can get an answer.
That was an answer, counsel.
Do you remember in your-
I'm sorry, let me quote the judge. That was an answer. Just because you don't like it doesn't mean it's not an answer.
Is it true that one of your big motivation, really, in making all of these posts is to make money?
To pay for the damage that they brought to my house under the circumstance that they shouldn't have even been there in the first place.
Okay. And the more lies, outrageous lies you tell about them, the more money you can make, right?
Fact, they never should have came to my house in the first place. Fact, if they hadn't have came to my house, they wouldn't have put themselves on the video camera and in my music career. All of this is their fact. All of this is their fault, and they have the audacity to sue me. These people and you are the
audacity.
predators and the victim at the same time.
So what they did, searching your house, gave you the right to do everything you
Under the circumstance that I got freedom of speech, after they run around my house with guns and kick down my door, I got the right to kick a can in my backyard, use my freedom of speech, turn my bad times into a good time. Yes, I do.
Yes,
And
he
I think
does.
I'm a sport for doing so, because I don't go to their house, kick down their doors, flip them off on their surveillance cameras, then try to play the victim and sue them.
You heard the testimony at the depositions about Randy Newland's daughter who came home upset. You heard all that, but you're still posting stuff about
Yeah,
it.
because I understand it was Randy's fault and all of their fault for coming in my house in the first place. So if they hadn't came to my house, their children wouldn't be saying nothing. None of this would be going home if they did their research and did things right. So all of this is their fault. And now they want to sue me for their mistake.
He's not wrong. They didn't even count the money twice. Right.
Is there anything that could change your mind about what you're doing to these deputies?
Is there anything that can change my mind about the fact that they shouldn't have been at my house in the first place? Is there anything that can change my mind about how my money shouldn't have been touched in the first place? No.
So we are at the end of the plaintiff's case. We did not watch all of the plaintiff's testimony. We watched some of the plaintiff's testimony. It's wild. And I know that there were a lot of clips of this trial going around the internet. And I know that the law nerds were like, Emily, we have to watch this. I see why. We are in a civil case, but we are not seeing any organization on the plaintiff's end of what they are claiming is defamatory. And in the plaintiffs we saw, there was one that was clear where they were going, but the rest of them, it was very vague. And it was, I feel disrespected. I've been called a thief. And then when the plaintiff called the defendant in their case as a hostile witness, not based on vibes, based on, I'm calling the opposing party and I would like to do a cross-examination in my case in chief, which in civil cases is appropriate and allowed. But then we got into questions of, would anything make you rethink the things that you've said? What element of defamation does that go to? Did you see how upset this plaintiff was in their deposition? Is counsel trying to push that towards punitive damages? It's very hard to follow where counsel is going. And some of the insinuations don't land for me within the context of a defamation suit. Afroman was like, I am not going to, he did not say this was the vibes. I'm not going to agree with your insinuation that I should do something different based on what they did. So no, he was going to continue to say, they did this. I responded to what they did. Shouldn't you? No, I responded to what they did. They should not have done what they did. I am responding to what they did. And then when the questions were asked directly about what he said, what he had heard, what music he was making, he answered those directly. But when the insinuation was he should have done something different, he was like, no, they shouldn't have done what they did. I wouldn't be talking about them if they hadn't done what they did. It's pretty simple. And he kept answering it over and over and over again. Absolutely wild, trying to somehow impute hurt feelings into defamation. And there may be a defamation claim or two buried in here, but the bulk of them is really hard to parse what the plaintiffs are suing for. Lawnard, I know you have been loving the Lawnard Shop, and me too. But what you might not know is that the Lawnard Shop started way back in the day when you guys were asking, can we get shirts? And I built it at like 3 a.m. on Shopify. Shopify is the commerce platform behind millions of businesses around the world and 10% of all e-commerce in the US, from household names like the Lawnard Shop or Chamberlain Coffee and Rare Beauty. And when I said I built the Lawnard Shop at like 3 a.m., it's because they have hundreds of ready-to-use templates that make it really easy to design your shop so it doesn't feel like a template, but also you're not gonna mess anything up, which is always what I'm worried about when I'm doing things myself. And they have award-winning customer service there, just in case you're not sure. And Shopify integrates directly into social media selling. So when you click through to the Lawnard Shop on YouTube, that's all powered by Shopify. And they have the Shop Pay button that integrates into every shop, which as a shopper, I love. And I realize how many of the places I'm shopping are Shopify sites because I can just hit Shop Pay, it's getting right to me, and I absolutely love it. So Lawnard, to see less abandoned carts and more sales, now is the time for Shopify and their Shop Pay button. Sign up for your $1 per month trial at shopify.com/Lawnard. Just head to shopify.com/Lawnard to start hearing this soon. That's shopify.com/Lawnard. Now let's get back to today's episode.
What was it like being married to a police officer prior to 2022?
As far as, I mean,
Was it an exciting life? Did you get a lot of phone calls?
I'd imagine it
no,
was stressful.
no. It was, he would go off and go out the door and I'd say, be careful, I love you, come home to me.
Right.
That was it.
Did that change in 2022?
No,
Did that change in March of 2023 when this
No.
lawsuit was initiated?
no,
Huh.
Did he ever come home and ask you to lock the doors?
no,
At any time, did Sean tell you that he was receiving death threats?
no,
At any time, did he tell you that you needed to take extra steps to protect yourself?
no,
At any time, did he tell you that Mr. Foreman's fans were trying to kill him and maybe you?
no,
Wow.
Did he ever sit down and tell you, hey, people are calling me thieves and I need to explain to you why people might say that to me?
No.
We watched the defense witness. I think the defense picked a good witness. The defense called the ex-wife of one of the plaintiffs. The witness indicated, and we did not watch that plaintiff, but the witness indicated that part of their understanding of the case is that their ex-husband was blaming the things that Afroman said for their divorce. And she categorically said that that was not true. She indicated that her life was not upended by the post made by Afroman, that in her teaching job, when students would mention it, she would just say, yeah, that was him. And that's it, because it's, none of their business, and appropriate boundaries. But she said that the way students would say things to her within her job did not change, that harassment in the community was not a thing, that she was not aware of death threats, she was not aware of harassment, and that was not her experience. And now we're getting into closing arguments.
When this trial started, I told you it was about intentional lies that are designed to hurt people. It's not about freedom of speech. It's about defamation. It's about false light defamation, intentional lies designed to hurt people. You've heard all the evidence. You've seen the witnesses. I'm not going to go over it. But I will say a few things to underscore what I think is most important for you to keep in mind as this case is turned over to you. From me, from the plaintiffs, to you. Mr. Foreman perpetuated lies intentionally, repeatedly, over 3.5 years on the internet about these 7 brave deputy sheriffs who've lived in this county for years, risked their lives for this county for years, done their job, been in the community for many, many years. Mr. Foreman did it intentionally. Mr. Foreman knew that what he posted on the internet were lies. He knew there was no theft. He knew there was no sex with Randy Walters' wife. And he certainly knew all of the stuff he's repeatedly posted about Lisa Phillips up until Friday and probably later were lies too. What are we going to do about that? Mr. Foreman told you from the witness stand, there's nothing we can do to stop him because he has freedom of speech to lie about people intentionally. During jury selection, we talked about that. And you all agreed that it's not okay to tell an intentional lie about someone that hurts them. We all agreed. And the judge is going to tell you that in the law that he gives you. So Mr. Foreman is legally wrong when he says he has free speech to tell harmful lies about people and get away with it. That's just legally wrong. You heard from the witness stand from Mr. Foreman the callous indifference that he showed to what he's done, the harm he's done. It's imprinted in your minds, I'm sure, like it is in mine, the tears, the agony from some of these witnesses Don't forget that when you're back in the jury room. That's what this case is about. There's not going to be economic damages in this case. There's no doctor bills. There's no damaged property. There's damage to reputation. There's pain and suffering. There's public humiliation. There's everything you saw and heard from these detectives from the witness stand. And the only thing you can do as a jury to decide this case is to render a verdict of money that somehow stands in, somehow represents the harm that these deputy sheriffs have been put through over 3.5 years. For Lisa Phillips, folks, I'm asking you to put $1.5 million in that verdict form. $1.5 million for Lisa Phillips from what she's been through for 3.5 years, maybe going through for who knows how long. For Brian Newland, I'm asking you to issue a verdict for $1 million for what he's been through with his family, the loss of his dream job here in Adams County. For Randy Walters, I'm asking you for a verdict of $1 million for what he's been through with the allegations and vile videos about his wife. For the other 4 plaintiffs, Sean Grooms, Sean Cooley, Justin Cooley, and Mike Estep, I'm asking you for a total, for all 4 of them, of $400,000 divided among them however you see fit based on their testimony. I've done all I can. These folks called me 3 years ago now and asked, what can we do to stop this? And here we are today. I've done what I can. They've done what they can. They've suffered through the publicity. They could have stopped this case at any time if they would have kowtowed to the pressure, public humiliation that Mr. Foreman continued to put them through, but they didn't. They bravely stood behind their case and their right not to be dragged through the mud with lies in the media. They've done all they can. And now I am giving their case and this decision to you. I have full confidence, I fully trust you to make the right decision, to make a fair decision, and to come back with a verdict that's fair for each one of these plaintiffs and that tells the community what you really think about this case.
We started this time, I talked about this case was about freedom of speech. But let's talk about what it's also about. It's also about music. Not all music is tasteful. Not everybody likes all music. There's some songs I hate. I think we can find plenty of people that find songs they do not like. But Mr. Foreman, Joe, is a rapper and comedian. It's what he's done his whole life, is rap, make songs. We got to think of what rap is, because music does not exist in a vacuum. Music evolves over time. Take a look at jazz. It's evolved. At one time, it was distinct in a certain subculture, and it has now expanded. Rap is the same. Rap started out as a means for people to express social commentary, opinions through entertainment. Look at the song by NWA. What are they called? Fuck the Police? I think I said that right. It's a social commentary on what was going on in their lives. Their personal effect, the personal things happening to them, combined with entertainment, which unfortunately is exaggeration. Opinion, nothing of fact in that song. It's a commentary on society. So we don't exist in a vacuum, and a reasonable person doesn't exist in a vacuum. As the judge said, you are a reasonable people. You get to decide what's reasonable, which means you get to use your experience. You get to use your understanding of what those are, of your understanding of Joe, of your understanding of rap music, music in general. I'm not going to sit here and say that these 7 people were happy about what happened to them. I'm not going to say that. That'd be stupid. But what I am going to say is they are public officials. We see it on the news all the time, public officials made fun of. What people are expressing when they call them thief is not a literal statement. It is not a fact. It is a social commentary on the fact that they didn't do things correctly. And they can't even articulate how they could fix it. That is a social commentary if I ever heard one. They don't like it? That's not their choice to like it or not. They're public officials. They're going to be held to a higher standard. Their work's going to be criticized. I mean, that's just what happens when you're a public official. And I come back to Mr. Grooms. He's worried about going out on a call and being shot. Now, maybe I'm old-fashioned. But if I'm going out on a call, I'm worried about getting shot. I'm going to call my wife and tell her to be safe. Not sit here and go, I'm worried about me. That's not what you do. You take care of your family. Mr. Walters wanted to point that out. That just goes to show us he didn't take it seriously. I love picking on Joe. He's a good sport for it. Look at that suit. Does this look like a man who thinks that everybody's going to assume that everything he's saying is fact? I mean, he's like a comedian. He exaggerates for the sake of entertainment. Bob went to great lengths to say nothing will stop him. Shows us where we're at. We got to stop his expression. We got to stop entertainment. We got to stop exaggeration. That's what Bob's talking about. What chilling effect does that have on the world we live in? Think about it. You don't like what a commissioner does. You don't like what our prosecutor does. You don't like what any public official does, and you make a joke, and you're drugging the court. It may not have been a tasteful joke. May have been a bad joke. May have been the greatest joke ever. But what we're saying is if they don't like it, we're back here. What does that say to you? Freedom of speech. That's why when you look at defamation and the jury instructions, you'll see that the first element of it is a statement. Portrayal of fact. Has to be portrayed as fact. No music video portrays as a fact. I don't watch Fuck Those Police and turn around and say, you know what, that's a fact. No. I say that's a song, it's entertainment, and move on. Sometimes I try to figure out what the words mean, what kind they're getting at, but I don't expect them to present a fact. Fourth element is the proximate cause. It's an interesting question there, because you'll get the definition of causation and proximate. And we never talked about that really during the trial, and it's going to be something that I want to discuss. They talked about getting phone calls. None of those posts. Joe never said, call them and tell them this. Mr. Cooley testified that they mailed pound cakes to the office. Joe never said send them a lemon pound cake. These are things that other people have done. Joe never directed them to do it. He didn't cause it. He made a joke. He cannot control how people take it. What they do, he's not that. All he can do is make a joke, make a song. So that's something to consider. Was he the proximate cause, or was it someone else? Let's talk about the false light. That's their second cause of action. That says that a reasonable person would be justified in the eyes of the community, feeling seriously offended and aggrieved. I want you to go in on the eyes of the community. They want to say people's humiliating them, calling them names. The reality is a reasonable person in the eyes of the community is going to say, it's a song. It's a joke. I was flabbergasted to hear it myself, that they even thought it was a joke before they brought the lawsuit. Go to a Halloween party and bring a lemon pound cake. I ask you to deliver a verdict in Joe's favor on all claims. I ask that because when you look at it, no reasonable person could see it as a fact. No reasonable person could see it as even false light. The community, if people called them, that's because the social commentary resonated with someone, resonated with what people experienced in the world. We've lived through a turbulent year, so we've all seen on the news what people are experiencing all over the country. Social commentary resonates because of that. That doesn't make him the proximate cause. That shows a deeper concern in our country that we should be addressing, not sitting here trying to decide if a music video is a fact or not. That's what's at issue here. And I'm confident as you go back in deliberations, you'll come to that conclusion too.
So the court was informed the jury reached a verdict, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So if you'll hand the verdict forms to the bailiff, he'll hand them to me so I can take a look at them. I looked at the form of the paper, essentially to see if they're
Filled out
properly
properly.
signed. In all circumstances, the jury finds in favor of the defendant, no plaintiff verdict prevailed. So the matter will be concluded with defense verdicts.
When these things happen and when bad things happen, you do your best and make it good. When life get you lemons, you make lemon pound cake.
I mean,
You gonna stick around Adams County, or you gonna go to a different area?
No, I'm here. I'm home. If I go to a different area, I got to deal with a different police department kicking down my door, disconnecting my cameras and stealing my money. So my battle is won here. I think I'm gonna lay my head.
fair.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank y'all.
Where'd you get the suit from? I gotta ask.
It's custom made.
Of course it is.
You know what I'm saying? I am the American dream. You know what I'm saying? I believe in the rags to riches story. I believe in the Cinderella story. I believe in the American dream. So, yeah, this suit stands for the freedom of speech and the American dream.
So here's where we're at. No acknowledgement of the jury. The defense attorney looked like they were looking to their client, Afroman, trying to say, no, you won. Because the way the judge read it in was so strange. And then he didn't thank and dismiss the jury. We stand in adjournment, and it seemed like just walked off the bench. And then the bailiff came back later and said, you can go. Because everybody was just standing there waiting. Absolutely wild end of the case. And the judge going through all 14 verdict forms and then choosing to read them as a group. Okay, fair, because it was unanimously defense verdicts. So in every single verdict form, the jury found for defendant. So there are 14 of them where they circled that they find in favor of defendant and then signed. And then every single one of them had to sign every single one of the forms. Thanks for joining me. If you enjoyed this episode and don't want to miss updates on your favorite cases, you're going to need the Law Nerd app at lawnerd.app.com. That way you can stay in the loop on the cases that matter most to you, and you never know when you're going to catch feelings for a new case. So make sure you get it for free on iOS and Android. Thank you for being here, and thank you for being a Law Nerd.